Be cool if everything just works. Says we're
Says
live now. Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear us. Nick, why don't you go ahead and talk to him for a bit while I just check
hey
on the stream.
everybody. I'm back at the show today. I'm pretty excited to be here. Chris has been handling it the past few times, I believe. And so yeah, excited to be back on the stream. I hope there's a lot of you that have been waiting for us to come on, answer all your questions that you might have related to SEO or maybe about life in general. I mean, we know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. But predominantly SEO is what we talk about on this live stream. So I sure hope this new software is going to work out real well for us.
Looks
Chris
like
is
it's
also
live.
in the sticks, so hopefully the internet maintains composure throughout the stream. And hope all y'all are doing well out there. It's been a hot one out here in Texas. So, now we've got the weather talk out of the way. So things are looking pretty good out there.
Honey says, "Hi, Nick and Chris. Hey, Honey, you're the first person in here. How does our mic volume and everything sound? Everything sound okay? It's our first time using StreamYard. It looks like it's all working fine, so that's cool.
I like that the comments just show up down there.
Yeah, you can just like show and hide like this. Pretty cool, huh?
It's good, yeah. That's classic.
Cool. All right. So yeah, I guess if you guys got any questions at all, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Other than that, yeah, new stream, new format, so might be kind of clumsy. But yeah, we're gonna do our best here. Also, weird time, maybe random day, or what's today? Wednesday, maybe a normal day. I'm not really sure. But anyway, yeah, we'll do our best to try to do this, and let's get into it. Got any questions? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. Banners. See what I'm doing here. Oop, don't want that. All right. I have a concrete website ranking number 31 in search results. Building links takes forever. What is a fast way to rank? Yeah, so everyone when they join SEO, I feel like they don't really respect what SEO is and like how much money they can earn from ranking on Google. So they try to neglect things that are completely necessary to do in SEO, right? And the thing that people like to disregard the most or to try to take a shortcut on is backlinks, because anyone can do content. Anyone can sit on their computer and just start writing content and put it on your website. Anyone can do that. It's easy. Google knows this. So, they had to weight backlinks pretty heavily in their algorithm. So you need to build links if you want to rank your website. And build, you're going to want to do some like foundational link building, and then you're going to want to do some quality link building, which generally just involves outreach, sending a bunch of emails to websites. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. We got a ton of videos on our channel. We also are a link building agency, so you could check us out, or another provider if you want to buy backlinks. But there's a lot to learn there. So, do a little education, and then, try to do things naturally instead of taking shortcuts would be my advice. But aside from ranking your website, there are some faster ways to get traffic, not faster ways to, actually, there are some faster ways to rank. You could rank on using free parasites like LinkedIn Pulse, Reddit, Quora, Medium is a good one. You can also make YouTube videos and try to rank that YouTube video on Google. It might be hard depending on what your keyword is, but you can go look at the keyword on Google, see if there's like some videos already ranking, and you can try to make videos on the topic. But if you got videos in there that have like a ton of views, and then your video doesn't have a ton of views, it's not really it's gonna be kind of hard for you. But YouTube ranking very fast on Google SERPs. Parasite SEO can rank very, very quickly on Google SERPs. I feel like those are the two quickest ways. What else do you got as far as ranking fast on Google, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the answer is always, it's going to take you as long to rank as it takes you to rank. It's all going to be dependent on the competition, whether you're doing local. So what the competition is like, how big the metro is, etc. What you need to do is just get started, get in there, and you can't have an expectation like, oh gosh, it just takes so long to rank, I'm just going to half-ass something and get it. It's not the way it works. You've got to do all the things to win at this game. Otherwise, everybody'd be doing it, and there would, everybody be making a lot of money by being in the top 3 positions of all the SERPs. I mean, it's just not the way it works. So you've got to do all the things right. Yes, it's going to take time. So like Chris said, work on more than one thing. So you're not just ranking a website. Start thinking about it. Maybe instead of ranking, start thinking about how do I get traffic that's going to equal profit in my pocket? And that's going to be through working on a ranking campaign, expecting that to be a longer play. Running ads, you can do the YouTube videos, you can try the parasite stuff, any number of things. I mean, even reach out to, if you're in a local market, other avenues to advertise locally, etc. But start doing all these things. And instead of just trying to think, a lot of people want SEO because they imagine that once they get there, they don't have to spend any more money. They just control the SERP and it's this endless revenue stream. And that's just not the case. It is a ongoing thing that you're going to have to work on consistently. And it starts today and it doesn't really end until you want to get out of business, basically, or until you want to, slow down on leads or whatever. But yeah, there's no real shortcuts to this kind of stuff. You can try and game the system, and there are different levels to doing that. Like Chris said, we got a lot of videos on that kind of stuff. But if this is your business, then I say don't take the shortcuts, and maybe right up front, if you need the leads, start focusing a little bit more on ads with your budget, and trickle in a little bit of the SEO. And as far as backlinks taking forever, yeah, sure. If you're doing outreach and stuff, but if you're coming to a provider like us and you're literally putting your budget in, or just going to the MLB program with like a minimum $500 spend, you don't have to think about anything. Like, it's just being worked on back there. You're getting your backlinks, and in a local metro, especially smaller one, a lot of times it takes time in the SERPs for you to start moving up. But I mean, you'd be surprised what even a small budget in the right metro can do for you. And yeah, once you get those organic rankings, you'll be happy you spent that money. I can't think of the last time it took me, and I'm talking about just like plain metros, nothing too competitive, nothing crazy. But I can't think of the last time it took me like longer than 4 or 5 months to rank in a metro, or start getting good targeted traffic in any particular metro. So if you think about that, and you're looking at, like, depending on the size of your business and how much it takes for you to pay off these leads, one job in a good metro can make up for, especially in concrete work, right? That's what he said he's doing. Dude, yeah. One job in concrete work, the right job over, imagine that budget being even $1,000 per month for 4 or 5 months. Like, that's going to get wiped out immediately. Think about your ROI, within the next year, not just, what you can see in front of your nose, so to speak. But yeah.
I was going to say, really good point as far as like ads. A lot of SEO agencies anyways, they're going to run ads in the beginning for you just so you see some traffic immediately, because they know that SEO takes time, and they're not going to be able to get you results as fast as the customer wants, because they don't understand that it takes time. So they'll run PPC for you in the beginning. So that's definitely a way to get quick leads. But yeah, also like what Nick is saying, because this is a local project, and local really doesn't take much in a lot of cases. And if you're ranked number 31, depending on what your metro is, you might be able to, get higher. Just I've got a feeling like maybe your website just might not be properly optimized. Like, do you have like your GMB? You have like your keywords like in your H1s and your titles and stuff? You have like decent like URL structure? Have you like targeted the keywords correctly? Stuff like that. A lot of these like local websites, if you just do your like cheap foundational link building and then you just get everything else right, I mean, that's like enough to get on page 1 by itself. Yeah. And then like Nick was saying, you could come over to a provider like us if you don't know how to build backlinks, and just pay the $500 and let us build for a month or 2. And, quite honestly, that's probably more than it's going to take, or that'll be more than enough to get you ranking. But yeah, then also, you are local. So, work on getting your reviews up. You're going to want to make sure like getting reviews is part of your like process for all your clients, because reviews are just so important with local. Make sure you got your GMB. Hopefully you got your GMB set up. And if not, it'd be a really good idea to get one any way that you possibly can. Yeah. Anything else on that one, Nick?
No, also.
Cool. Let's see here. Jaden says, everything looks good. Let's go.
Nice.
Adrian says, yo guys, how's summer treating you? Summer's pretty hot here, but honestly, I'm just used to it by now, doing the whole Southeast Asia thing for a couple of years at this point. So, but I will say that I'm at my mom's right now, and where my mom lives is humid AF, and there are like bugs everywhere. It's gross here. It's like grosser than like, being like in Southeast Asia by like the equator, where you would think there'd be like more like bugs and stuff, but it's like way grosser here.
You are in a area, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like swamp farmland type area, a bunch of rice farms and stuff. Austin's nicer. Where around where Nick is nicer. So it's dry heat.
Yeah, dry out here. But it has been hot. We've had those 105-degree days come rolling through now. Yeah. Chris and I used to play sports in high school in this kind of weather, and now it's like I go outside, I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, that would be rough. Definitely not what I want to do right now. All right, guys, got any questions at all? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. Let us, ask us some questions so we can test out this new streaming platform that we're using and make sure everything works good. We still got the share screen it's cool. We still got the share screen that we can do here in a bit if we got a good question. It's cool. I like it. Let's see here. Oops. All right. I am a new blogger. I have been studying about backlinks and came across the term Web 2.0 backlinks. What are these? Should I make Web 2.0 backlinks or not? Also, how to make normal backlinks. So let's go ahead and do the share screen on this one. And then I'll hide this guy, I guess. So normal backlinks normally when people say normal backlinks, what they mean are guest posts and niche edits. These are two of our breadwinners for our link building agency. These are the links that most people use to increase their rankings on Google. They are real links from real websites. You can't just sign up on the website and go and create something. You actually have to like email with them and get them to agree to either put a new content on their website for a guest post or to edit a link into their existing content for a niche edit. These are what good backlinks are. It's real links on real websites that you can't just go and nobody can just get like very easily, right? Take some communication, might have to like provide some kind of value to them, whether that's money or something else. These are the links that really like move the needle, right? As far as Web 2.0s, we do like to use Web 2.0s as part of like kind of foundational link building, but what Web 2.0s are is like let's go to Weebly.com. So for example, Weebly is a popular Web 2.0, and what you basically do is you go, and this looks like a normal website, right? But if you look up, well, it's not a good example because they have a normal domain. Let's get one that's actually on a subdomain for you guys to look at. This one's doing the same thing. Come on, guys, give us a good one. So you can see in the top left corner here, it says like promise or whatever .weebly.com. This is a Web 2.0. You can go on Weebly, create your own little mini website on their website, and it gives you on a subdomain up here. So you do not get the power of the root domain. It's basically starting a brand new website. People like to use Web 2.0s because anyone can go and create these. However, Google knows that these types of links that anyone can go and create them, so they don't weight them very heavily at all. We like using them for foundational links because it adds in a little bit of like naturalness and whatnot. But as far as them being like powerful backlinks, I can't say to go and create a bunch of them. You can go create like 5, 10 of them or whatever. You just make a little tiny mini website. You can make a little like 3-page, 5-page website that's relevant to your industry or whatever topic you write about, and just send like one link from it, on one of your blog articles on this little mini website. But cannot really recommend making them as like part of like your core like link building strategy, right? It's more like maybe get a couple if you feel like it as part of like foundational link building. And then aside from that, you're just better off moving on to other kinds of foundational backlinks if you still need foundational stuff, or the niche edits, guest posts, Haro, digital PR, like the stuff that's really going to move the needle. What else you got on this one, Nick?
Yeah, the only thing to add would be, while they're not incredibly powerful, Web 2.0s do still operate kind of like how a regular website would, in that they can be aged and they can have backlinks or referring domains pointing at them, right? Which is going to give them a little boost in crawlability, if nothing else. For example, in our pillow link packs, all the links that you're going to get on Web 2.0s from us are on aged domains, essentially, or aged Web 2.0s. So they've got some history, they've got backlink qualities, etc. There are ways to go scour the internet and find those, looking for drop links, things like that. But yeah, like Chris said, I wouldn't give them too much attention. The only time I really use them or, work with them at all is going to be at the very beginning, pillowing for a newer website. So yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's see here. How do we get back? There we go. Okay. All right. Adrian says, have you seen any website recoveries? Matt Diggity posted an interesting video a few hours ago. Yeah, no, there are absolutely website recoveries going on. I was actually just making a video this morning about some of them. I guess let's go ahead and take a look at some of them. Let me get Ahrefs pulled up. One
I've
second,
not seen that big video yet, though.
Sorry, one sec. Here, what's a good one? bakeandbacon.com is one. There we go. Okay. So let's hide this. All right. So yeah, here's one. This is bakeandbacon.com. You can see their organic traffic is now higher than it was before the updates. One thing about this one is that a lot of their traffic is coming from basically like one page that's getting like a ton of traffic. So this is not really my favorite example. What's another one? Thatfitfriend.com is another one. Had a pretty decent recovery. They're up from 1,500 traffic to 33,000 traffic. This one was cool because they didn't really prune a bunch of content. You can see on the right hand side, they just like overhauled a ton of their content. It's another one. I was trying to skip on these names. driveandreview.com was one. They're up from 12 traffic to 14K. What's cool about this one is they actually pruned a lot of their content. So a lot of people say, well, they're not up to 41 traffic yet, but they also removed a bunch of their content. So they're not going to get to this high amount because they just removed so much. So for the content that they still have on their website, they're actually ranking quite well, right? So 14% from 40%, that's like a 30% recovery in just like 2 weeks. And another thing I've been telling people to pay attention to is that it took a lot of these websites like 6 months to 1 year to lose all of their traffic. And a lot of people are saying, well, they haven't recovered 100%. And it's like, bro, it's been 2 weeks. Like, it's going to take some time, and depends like how much like actually they're changing and stuff. So I'm actually pretty happy about the update stuff that's going on. There's also a guy in our group, so I can't pull up his website here, but there's a guy in our Facebook group who basically what he did was he disavowed a bunch of k.html spam backlinks, and he also I don't think he pruned any content, and he removed the ads from his website, which kind of sucks, but as you know, a lot of like affiliate and ads based websites were hit a lot harder than anyone else for whatever reason. Google just doesn't trust these kind of sites anymore in a lot of cases. What I have not seen as far as recoveries are websites that are not making significant changes to their content. Well, actually, there are a couple that maybe didn't. Basically, it was good content. It was like human content, real reviews, real experience and shit like that. And maybe they made a couple small changes in these sites I've seen recovering, but I haven't seen any sites recovering that's basically like, how people used to do affiliate SEO like a year or two ago, which was like, real low effort, probably AI content, stuff like that. I haven't seen any kind of sites like this recovering. What about you, Nick? What are you seeing as far as recoveries?
Yeah, same stuff that you're talking about. I mean, nothing wild, but things are popping up off the floor here and there, which is nice. A couple of my sites included that I've been kind of just like maintaining, catching, what look like bids, so to speak, in the SERPs. But yeah, I mean, if it takes 6 months to a year for things to go down, it's not going to be immediate, like you said. So, hold tight. But
and I also don't think things are going to go back to like how they were before. Like, I don't think it's just going to be like, oh, this never happened and Google's decided to change their mind and they did the wrong thing. Like, I don't think this is the way we're going. I think the people that are seeing the most recoveries are doing significant content overhauls. They're looking at monetization. They're improving user experience. I don't think backlinks has too much to do with it, even though a lot of these high authority websites I think are treated differently. I don't think you're going to recover. So like if you did all this bad content stuff wrong, I don't think you can just slam your site with good links, and I don't think that's going to be enough. But yeah, I still see a decent amount of people like promoting like AI content spam, and they'll show these graphs where it's like after a month or 3 months, they're starting to get some traffic. It's like 500 traffic a month, 1,000 traffic a month or whatever. And they're like, oh, it still works. And it can definitely still work. But the problem is wait for a core update or two. The site's not going to be around after, a year maximum. So you want to do like churn and burn. You can still kind of do this kind of stuff. But if you're actually working on something that you want to like stick around, I would be pretty wary of this kind of, how we were doing SEO a year ago. I think you got to change significantly, especially if you're a content website, affiliate and ads. If you're e-com or basically anything else, I think you get away with a lot more. But then again, you're not really writing the same kind of content, and you don't really have the same kind of like website, like architecture and stuff as well. Anything else on that one, Nick?
I'll say that I don't know. I abstained from a lot of the AI abuse. Like I definitely dabbled with it a little bit, but didn't rely on it too much. And I'm pretty happy with the overall growth that went on over the last year or so, versus that heavy decline, trying to reassess how to do things. It just reinforces what we've always kind of preached here, which is do things the right way from the get-go. And even if they're more arduous, you're going to benefit longer term, have less headache longer term too. Not to say you can't, but yeah. I like slow and steady wins the race personally. Maybe I'm just getting fucking old though.
I had someone call me a Google apologist the other day, and I was like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, a Google apologist? Like, I'm here, like I'm a link builder. Like, we're, one of the things we sell is PBN links. Like, we obviously are not like Google apologists.
To get that accolade.
I can't remember what I said, but it was just basically some angsty YouTube commenter. They come onto a video and leave these unhinged, crazy comments when they don't know what they're talking about. But there's a difference between like bending the rules and like bending the rules in a more like intelligent way, right? So like AI content spam, this is low energy. You're not doing anything sophisticated. You're spamming.
Yeah.
But you can use AI in a good way, and you can get good rankings with it, right? It takes a little bit like more sophistication than that. It's the same thing with backlinks. You can do low energy backlink building, and it might work in the short term, but long term, it's not going to look too hot for you. Or you can bend the rules in a little bit more intelligent way. You can learn about things like link diversity, anchor text diversity, target URL diversity, what a healthy website looks like, and how to prod with exact match anchors where you can in a more like careful way. There's smarter ways to do things, and but anyway, we're not apologizing for Google. We don't think Google gets everything right. I think they overstepped in these last updates or whatever, but I can see the direction they're trying to move in, and we just have to adjust accordingly, right? All right. Homemade Hoop says, is your managed link building a minimum of 5 months? No, we have no monthly minimum. And no, it's not a 3-month minimum either. It's a 1-month minimum because you pay for 1 month at a time. You can either do recurring payments, or you can do just a one-off payment where it won't automatically bill you again. For anyone who's not aware, our managed link building service is our probably our most popular product that we have. It's our completely done for you link building service. Basically how it works is you apply, our team gets back to you with their analysis. You tell us like what your goals are, stuff like that. And then you just give us whatever your monthly budget is, and we build links. The minimum that we do have for MLB is a $500 per month minimum. But the cool thing about that is all $500 goes towards links. Like there's no additional fee. Actually, there's a one-time setup fee of $100, but there's no like the links aren't more expensive or something. There's not like a new monthly fee on top of the normal links. So you're still getting the links at the normal price. We just do it all for you because you've joined the service and are paying more than $500 a month essentially. So yeah, it's a really good way to build backlinks if you have no idea what you're doing, because you just let us know what you're trying to do and we just help you do that, right? And build the links that we think are the best. Lots of HCU hit sites are recovering. Maybe Google has seen sense eventually. So this is something we were talking about in one of the past questions just a minute ago. I don't think Google, I think they're going to continue going in the direction that they are going in now. But what's cool is, I think they came in very heavy handed, which honestly, if I was Google, I think I would do the same thing. If I was trying to like clean up my SERPs and get people scared of doing a certain type of SEO, I think I would come in like Google did and just start smashing things with a sledgehammer. It's not their, huh?
So that's what they did.
Yeah, that's what they did, and it's exactly what anyone would do if you were in their situation. Again, am I a Google apologist? No, because I think they did overstep. I don't like how they're unfairly targeting like content sites that are monetized with affiliate ads, and a lot of sites that shouldn't have got hit, by any reasonable metric. These sites shouldn't have got hit. They did get hit. So I think they did like overstep a bit, and it was, a lot more impactful than it should have been, but I think they did it for a reason, and I think now they're kind of dialing things in, improving things a bit. It's good to see these recoveries. I'm glad sites are recovering. It means that content-based websites are still viable. Affiliate SEO is still a thing, and I'm really happy for that. Just because I think the content website business model is awesome. I like the fact that anyone can start a blog about something, work from their home, and like make money, right? It's like extremely liberating. And so I didn't want to see that vanish, and everyone that was doing SEO would have to do something like e-com or local or whatever. Anyway, I like the content site model. So yeah, but I don't think they're gonna, I don't think things are ever gonna go back to how they were before. Maybe just get a little bit more dialed in. Anything else on that one, Nick?
No, good.
Any tips on link building for ranking directory websites? So directory websites, pretty much link building works the same for everything, right? You're going to build heavily to your homepage, get your foundational link building done, get your, start building your heavy hitter links, your guest posts, link insertions, maybe some HARO, maybe some digital PR if you got the funds for that. But, guest posts and link insertions are kind of like the bread and butter, real links from real websites. Heavy focus on homepage, link diversity, anchor text diversity, all this stuff, all the normal stuff still applies. You just have to figure out for your directory website, like what are your kind of like your hub pages. So like, you might have kind of like category pages or location pages, like Houston SEO companies, Dallas SEO companies. You're probably going to want to, build some links to these kind of like hub pages or these kind of category pages, if you want to call them, kind of functions in the same way. To figure out what your most important pages are and build links to those. And depending on what your keywords are as well, just go into the SERP, see if there's anything else in the SERP that has that's also a directory or whatever, and you can just kind of build according to that to make sure you don't like completely go overboard and start building links to some like weird page that shouldn't really be getting links at all, right? But yeah, I mean, things really are not that much different for a directory site than any other website. You got anything on that one, Nick?
No, I mean, yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right. Any questions at all, guys? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. Let's see, what do we got here? What's on sale this month? Press releases, I think. So if you guys are in the market for press releases, you can use code PRESS10. Go to sirlinksalot.co and use code PRESS10 when you're ordering press releases to get 10% off. They're actually my favorite type of foundational backlink because you get like 50 to 200 indexed backlinks from news websites in one blast. I think they're $79 and 10% off comes like $71 or something. It's so cheap for that amount of links. Most of them are do follow. Just all press releases are pretty much always do follow. But yeah, great for like foundational link building, super natural. Just like do one press release. Really awesome to mix into your link building strategy.
And you can inject a lot of relevance in there too. And then I feel like, as SEOs, we consider like a press release just like a pillow link. We don't give it much thought. Typically we're going and just getting, some random piece of content written. But, especially if you're like a smaller business, I remember the first time I ran a press release and I showed it to my dad that I like, syndicated all these
I think it's awesome.
They're like, whoa, how'd you do that? And, I guess once we start getting technical, we forget kind of like the magic involved in some of this. So like, if you're getting even local news website kind of press and you're showing it to, for lack of a better word, more normie. Yeah. Then, that can go a long way. And you'd be surprised just posting stuff like that on your Facebook can drum up business for you as well, right? Like people
True.
see you make moves, etc. And again, we're looking at it through the lens of like the average person that doesn't even know what SEO is or why ranking in Google is even worth money. I run into that all the time, right? So start thinking about like, the competitive edge you can get. Press release is something fun you can do that looks really impressive to the average person. And that includes clients. You go, hey, I'm going to run you a press release, give me some news on some of the new stuff you're doing. I'm not here to tell you you can upsell them, significantly, but you definitely can. There's businesses that are backed by venture capital that literally do this. For insane amounts of money per press release. Citations was another big one that I remember finding early on.
It's crazy what some people pay for citations.
Dude.
That's another thing. We were talking about local SEO earlier. Like a lot of times, like if you just do your foundational link building and like one press release for like a local SEO company, Joe's construction company just expanded their workforce by 50% because booming business in Houston. Like this is such like an easy thing to do. And it's like so natural. It's like, I know a lot of local guys like swear by press releases and there's like, this is all we need to rank. And it's all they need to rank. It's like less than the cost of like one guest post, right? for like, 200 links or whatever. All right. Oop. See what else we got here. If you were a business owner in a popular local niche like landscaping, but the SEO isn't super competitive, what's the minimum and maximum you would spend on an agency? I don't know. I'm not super familiar with local prices, to be honest, but can you do SEO for less than like $1,000 a month?
I would say it's not going to be somebody that's really going to be pushing you. Like when you go to local companies, a lot of times what you're going to get is inflated prices with no know-how. Like they're going to know the bare minimum, like they watch some YouTube videos, they go by Google guidelines, like they're not actually manipulating an algorithm, right? I think if you're getting somebody that's serious, and they're going to be positioning themselves to make some good money, I would say like, anywhere between, for like a landscaping company in a medium-sized metro, 3 to 4 grand per month. 2,000, I think you're probably getting a really good deal, but anywhere between 2 to 4, depending on the size of the metro, I think is probably, an acceptable price to pay for people with know-how. The issue is going to be finding the people with know-how, especially when you're talking local. So, it is going to vary, but you want to make sure that you're going with somebody that's got proven record. And yeah, I think somewhere around there would probably be accurate. And while that sounds like a lot of money right out of the gate, remember that like once you own those SERPs, then you're getting these leads at essentially no cost. You're going to keep your campaign going to attack more SERPs, but that money is not going to be a huge issue, especially in something like landscaping, where let's say you start targeting commercial jobs or something like that. Like it's not going to take much to get that ROI back. So, I would say anywhere between 2 to 4 grand sounds about right, but I can't tell you specifically without knowing a little bit more details about things.
Yeah. Depending on the metro size, I could even see maybe getting it for like 1,500, maybe 1K. But I mean, at that point, it's like,
Dude, like
it's
the
just,
thing
it's
is
just,
like they're not making any money if they do that. Because
yeah,
like imagine like what they're spending on the backlinks, the content at
yeah,
$1,500, all that burns up like fucking fast. I
yeah.
personally, I wouldn't work on anything if I'm doing full spectrum SEO for 1,500 a month.
No, I wouldn't either. Never. It's
No.
just not worth it. But maybe you can find some local agency that's like really set up to handle this. But at the same time, you're probably not going to really get that like care. And like Nick was saying, a lot of these local agencies are just so horrible, or not just even local agencies, but SEO agencies in general. I understand why the SEO industry has such a bad rap because,
Probably SEOs in general, really, if you think about
yeah,
how many
I
people
would
are.
say even like the majority of the industry is just straight up scam.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like you were saying, they've watched a couple of YouTube videos. They have all these like fancy words and like what you're getting, but it really comes out to they're like updating your WordPress plugins,
I
and
I just
I
had
don't
to.
even know. I don't know what they're doing, but it looks like
It's
nothing.
nuts. I just had to look up basically audit somebody's SEO agency and like what they were doing, and like I'd see these reports that are like really pretty, right? But absolutely say fucking nothing in them. It's
Yeah,
all just like fluff garbage. And then I saw what they were being charged for. It's like to change images is like, 1 hour at like $130. Like, and we're talking about a WordPress site. And like I was like, I'll change it for you. And they're like, well, how much is that going to be? It's like, I'll just go in there and change it in 5 minutes. Like, but that's the nature of the game, right? Like, these are SEO agencies, but really they're, where can we extract money from agencies? It's just it's different. Most people don't have like that level of technical ability, especially when we start thinking like real SEO, where you're prodding at an algorithm, having to think about like all the variables involved and building out these networks, etc. Like most people just aren't. They're not cut out for that. They're cut
the
out
thing that
for.
gets me is they a lot of them make up all of these like crazy fancy words that no one in the industry uses, and they, even for me, I'm like, what are they saying? Like, what is that? And like, I've been doing SEO for a decade, and they're like using words that it's like crafted to trick business
Yes.
owners and whatnot. Anyway, you can find a reputable agency. Just be aware that anyone that knows how to do SEO, they're not going to come. You're not going to be like bargain hunting here. Anyone that knows how to do SEO does not need to lower their prices because they understand that what they do can change your business.
And they're busy. Yeah.
It can make you from literally making no money to having a very comfortable life.
Being a franchise.
So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind, and approach accordingly.
One last thing, One issue that you're going to get if you go with the quote cheapest solution that you think you find is that you don't get that money back when you've wasted, 6+ months. That money is gone, versus if you're paying extra, but then you're getting results in the long run, like that's what's cheapest to do, right? So, consider these things when you're going in. And again, an agency should be able to run you ads. If you need ROI quick, then give them an ad budget. And that is somewhere where you can go to an agency and say, hey, here's $1,000 a month. And typically they'll either take, a percentage of that. And, a lot of times it's like 15, 20%, depending on the budget, or they'll have like a monthly retainer to be running ads for you, $400 or $500 is pretty typical. So, you can always get in there and decide how to use your budget.
True. All right. I get 0 organic traffic from Google and can't rank high enough for the keywords I target. Been link building, but after 2 months with minimum results. Site note night. Feel like I just need 1 or 2 links to start getting traffic. Yeah, so depending, it doesn't sound like you're a local business. And so I would really doubt that 1 or 2 backlinks is going to get you the results that you want. But the good news for you is you can go and you can check this very easily. Go look at the keywords you're trying to rank for and see how many referring domains these people have. Let's see, we could do
website though.
What's one I could check? Are you looking up their website?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I'm just doing something. I'll show my screen here. There we go. So yeah, I'm just searching for a keyword like note-taking apps and like scrolling down here, I've got this Ahrefs plugin. If you don't have any tool, you could use like Mozbar. I think does kind of a similar thing, but not as good, of course. But you can see like, so if you came in and you're like, oh, here's my competitors. Oh, this guy has a domain with 84,000 referring domains, or these guys have, 328K, whatever. You can just very quickly see how powerful the websites are that you're going against. And you can answer the question of how many links do you think you need a lot more clearly, rather than I think I need 1 or 2 links, like based on nothing. But if maybe I've got you wrong, maybe you have looked at this. You could also pull these guys up in Ahrefs, look at, actually go in and analyze the backlinks a little bit, like put on a filter, like 250 minimum site traffic and DR of like 10 or something for a very low bar. See how many like quality links they have in there that are not just like spam or whatever. And these could give you a good idea of like how powerful the domain overall needs to be. Because yeah, you want to look at like domain strength overall and not just page. You can look at individual page too. How many backlinks does this individual page have? But then you want to look at the overall domain too, to see how strong like the overall domain is. Do we miss anything on this one? Can't rank an high enough keywords to target. Oh, you could also start trying to target like less competitive keywords. I don't know what kind of keywords you're trying to target, but there's a good chance that you might be targeting keywords that are difficult, right? And so by targeting what they call long tail keywords, so for example, instead of note-taking app, you could do like best note-taking app for children. I don't know, whatever. This will be a lot easier to rank for than note-taking app. So yeah, anyway, you could try looking at ranking for some easier keywords first, start building the traffic coming into your site by ranking for these easier keywords. And then eventually, once you've built up this backlink authority over time, because it does take a lot of time and effort and probably money, then you can eventually start trying to target these harder keywords that are going to take more time and effort to rank for. What were you going to say, Nick?
So it's not a very big site. And I feel like it probably does have some targeting issues, for what you want to actually rank for. Just given the amount of AI
40
images,
pages, small site, yeah.
And then how much, I don't know, there's like even articles about AI on here. I'm guessing you're probably using AI pretty heavily to do this stuff. Make sure you're editing these articles, having some first person points of view, etc. Because at first I was like, oh, well, this site's pretty new, but I feel like it could be resonating more. So that's a couple of things to look at. And then, of course, I don't know if you're using Ezoic or whatever you're using for these display ads, but sometimes you've got to watch that kind of stuff too. I haven't looked into that in a long time since it's probably been close to like 2 years now that Ezoic has not been worth using. I haven't looked back into it since then, but especially for a newer site, I would probably eliminate those display ads for now. They're not going to make you any money anyway. And just see if that doesn't help rankability as well. As far as links go, you have some links. You got 27 referring domains.
Number one ranking for his main keyword has 424 referring domains. That's for your main keyword. So you're significantly behind them for that one. They are also ranking it on, it's an inner page versus like the homepage, like he's trying to rank it for. The next number two, we're not going to count Reddit, but aside from Reddit, the next one has 69 referring domains. So still about like double or triple what you have. Next one after that, 109 referring domains. Number 5 has got 56 referring domains. So still double what you've got. There's basically nothing on the lowest one on page 1. Number 9 has 46 referring domains. So yeah, I mean, not all of these referring domains are going to be good. So just because, you have 27 referring domains, probably not all of these are good. But anyway, like I was saying before, you're going to want to go in and apply some filters, because it doesn't mean you need 400 referring domains, because you can expect of that 400, they probably have like 40 good links. It's usually about like 10% or so, I feel like, that don't pass like the filters. But anyway, go ahead and check it out. The good news is this SERP is not extremely competitive. I feel like if you, like you were saying, if you do some link building for a bit, I feel like you shouldn't have a problem getting on page 1. If you're doing all of your other SEO correctly, just from the backlinks perspective, I feel like you could get on page 1 and it wouldn't be that bad. Anything else on this one, Nick?
Nope.
Cool. Quickly going back to your DFY service, could you give me a brief summary of it? I'm looking to move away from my current provider. I would say the best thing to do is go to the page and watch the video up at the top. Just watch the video. It's a good explainer. It walks you through the whole service. Essentially, you apply. We get back to you with our analysis. We look at your goals and everything, say this is what we want to do. Do you want to join the program or not? If you want to join, we join. We start building links. We deliver links at the end of every month. We give you a full report with all the links we built. We said, this is what we built. This is why we built it. And then you can decide if you want to pay for another month or not. And that's the gist of it. I would say if you're interested in it at all, just to go ahead and go to the page and apply. And it only takes you like 5 minutes to apply, and we'll get back to you with our analysis and whatnot, and a bunch more information about the program as well. A bunch of like common question answered and stuff like that. Just a big like PDF for you. And then, and then you can decide to join or not. But yeah, I would say watch that video and then just go ahead and do an application. It really doesn't take long, and you get a ton more info back from us. Are you guys doing website audits on the live? Can I send my website? You can send your website to info@sorlinksalot.co. We're not going to have time for any audits on this live stream, I don't think. But we should be able to get you in on the next one, hopefully. All right, thanks. I'll apply after stream. Yep, sounds good, man. And it usually takes about 1 business day to get back. So yeah, if you don't hear anything back in like 1 business day or whatever, just go ahead and send an email. I've had someone complaining. One of our workers had mentioned that they think something's going on with the deliverability. So yeah, if you don't hear back in 1 or 2 days, just go ahead and send an email to us. Do you have any internal linking tips? So internal linking is a lot of people's like nightmare when it comes to the on-site work, because it's one of the hardest things to automate, because people pretty much try to automate like everything now. Not that that's working out super well for a lot of people, but anyway, they try. And I feel like internal linking is the hardest thing to automate as far as on-site kind of stuff goes. There are plugins you could use, like you could do like Link Whisper, but actually I removed it from all the sites that I work on. I don't use it all anymore. Do you use it anymore, Nick?
I just use it as an idea thing, like especially if I'm feeling like sluggish or something, or I've told employees to do that before, where it's like use Link Whisperer, but even if you're going with something like edit it at least mildly, like, you know, it's not perfect, but it does give you good ideas, so it can help streamline some stuff. But it's not really something to rely on. Honestly, easiest way to go about it is like just scan the article, look for related stuff, and, you know, keep an Excel file where you're marking down, you know, where the links come from, where they've gone, etc. You know, I prefer old school, but I will say that I still have Link Whisperer installed, but I don't, you know, just use it automatically.
So you can also do this, and it's completely free. And all you got to do is go over to Google and do site : type in your website, and then type whatever the topic you're writing about. So here we did sterlingslot.co, and I typed in guest posts. So let's say I was writing an article about guest posts. Now it's going to give me all the articles on my website that Google thinks are the most relevant to the keyword guest posts. So this can work for both internal and external links. So you could link externally from your article saying these are all make good targets because they're closely related to the same subject. And then for internal links as well, you could say all of these pages talk about guest posts. So I could go to all of these pages and add an internal link from them to the article I'm writing. I use this a lot, actually, just the site : and whatever topic I'm talking about to find opportunities. I feel like it, for whatever reason, you know, it takes a little bit of manual work. It's not as streamlined as using Link Whisper, but I feel like if you actually know the website a little bit, and you know like what the keywords you're trying to target and stuff, this ends up being a lot better. But yeah, hopefully the plugins make some strides, because internal linking is like insanely annoying, and it's not something I really enjoy doing. But a couple other things on internal linking besides like finding opportunities. I would say, you know, vary your anchor text up. However, it's also a lot more natural when doing internal linking to use the same kind of like, it's pretty much like an exact match anchor, like over and over and over, because it's on your website. So like if I had a guest post service page on our website, I'm going to use the anchor guest post service a lot, just because it's what we call that service, and we're linking to it on our own website, right? So you don't have to be as careful with anchors, but still like to vary it up a bit. Yeah, I guess best practices would be make sure that every page gets, I would aim for at least 2 internal links like coming to it. And then as far as like outbound internal links go, just try to do it naturally. Like don't go overboard. We also don't think in terms of like silos. We don't try to like have these strict silos where we're doing stuff where we basically, you're reading that article and you see a word in that article and you know you have an article that's on that subject, just link to it. If it makes sense and the user might want to click it, just link to it. Like don't worry about it. Don't try to get in there and start jamming keywords in. Don't try to get like millions of internal links in every article. Just do it naturally. Make sure your article is still easy to read and every other word is not an internal link. Don't go crazy. Don't try to do like quote like super, hacker SEO here. Just try to make sure, link to other pages on the website that a user would find useful, and do it in a natural and not like overbearing way. Anything else to add on that one, Nick?
No, all good.
Cool. Mo says, sounds good. I'll be in touch. Sounds good, Mo. Also, hello. Sweet. I'll send the email now. Do you know what day and time you'll be live again? I'm not 100% sure. It might be next week. It might not be next week, but we try to do them on Wednesdays, around the same time, like noon on Wednesdays. Just not 100% on if it'll happen next week or not. What are your thoughts on toxic links? If we see this, should we try to get rid of them? So we don't use, and we don't use any kind of toxic link score or anything like that as far as, SEMrush or whatever, their toxic link score telling you to like disavow something. We don't look at this at all. Zero, never. What I will look at is if my website starts getting spammed with a bunch of like exact match anchors or Just basically just getting a bunch of like things that I know is spam, right? And you know spam when you see it. It's just really easy to see, right? Like all this like k.html spam links, or gibberish anchors and whatnot, or all the stuff coming from .info domains, and they all have the same predictable like kind of like titles and kind of things. It all looks the same, right? This kind of stuff you could consider disavowing. We're not really big like disavow people. Google, I think, has got like actually very good at ignoring most spam. However, from time to time, there are situations when we will recommend a disavow. And for example, these like k.html spam backlinks, for whatever reason, I saw a good amount of people had results from disavowing them. So I don't know why Google couldn't ignore them, because the footprint was insanely easy to catch. So kind of confusing, but anyway. But yeah, in general, toxic links. What we'd rather do is just build good links to balance out your link profile, and you can do that just by building good quality links to your website with natural anchor text versus low quality links with exact match anchors or whatever. And keep in mind that low quality and low authority are two different things. A link can be a high quality link but not be very powerful, aka have low authority. So when we're doing link diversity, one of the things we like to use is like low authority niche edits, which you can find on our website, because you essentially get links, a bunch of links for cheap from real websites. They're just not very powerful, but it can still help balance out your link profile because they're quality, they're just not strong, right? Yeah, anything else to add on that one, Nick?
No, straightforward.
Cool.
All right. It was a last resort.
I recently got attacked with multiple
porn.
I guess you're saying porn links in 3 of my top ranking articles. I disavowed them, but do you believe there's a way to secure my website from these attacks? No, there's no way to stop people from sending links to your website. In most cases, I wouldn't even disavow that. We actually,
don't had unless you feel like you need to.
Yeah. We actually had a really funny, someone tried to like negative SEO us, and they sent a bunch of like really dirty anchor text and stuff, a bunch of probably similar things to what you're talking about here. And it actually increased the rankings of the page. We didn't disavow it or anything. It actually helped us. And not just in the short term, it helped in the long term. And the reason is that for all of Google's talk about relevance and non-toxic domains and blah blah blah, the simple fact of the matter is a backlink is still a backlink, and like it's directing bots to crawl onto your website. It's Google, and I think there's some kind of like tolerance, right, where like Google, if they see that your overall backlink profile is pretty good and then you got a little like dirty mixed in there, then the scales are still balanced, and I think these can actually end up helping you. Nick did a cool case study on our website a long time ago, or a couple years ago or whatever, about injecting like spam as part of like a link building blast, doing a bunch of quality link building, and then on purpose injecting some like low quality spam in there, just as like a little extra boost, right?
Yeah.
A little bonus. And yeah, you can do stuff like this and it can work. So I wouldn't rush to disavow. If you start seeing like the ranking, like the page's rankings like drop a lot, you could consider doing it, or you might want to wait for a couple weeks and just see how things go. Because a lot of times you see a dip before you see an explosion, right? So it could dip down and then it could go a lot higher. It tends to happen a lot of the time. But anyway, I wouldn't really worry. You said multiple links. I'm guessing it's not like hundreds of thousands. If you're talking about a low number of these things, I really, really wouldn't worry about it. But if they start doing something where they're like spacing it out and they're sending these links repeated to you over time with like exact match anchors over the course of like a year or something, I feel like things can start to get kind of sketchy. We even saw in like Google's leaks that one of the things they pay attention to with these spam attacks is they look at the time interval in which they happen. If it happens within a small time interval, a lot of times they just ignore it because they say, "Oh, it's just spam." It's not a natural. Isn't how things happen naturally. We'll ignore these things. Versus if someone was to like space it out over time and was to look like they're doing things in a more calculated way and it's a sustained practice, then it can be a little bit more dangerous potentially. Anything to add on that, Nick?
No, not really. I mean, like typically this just ends up being psychological warfare between the site
Yeah.
owner, whether they want to disavow or whether everything's ruined, right? It's not ruined. You'll be okay. You know, porn is most likely way off of what your actual niche is. And typically when people are doing this kind of spam, they're not using high quality links. They're just using spam quality links. So, you know, you're not getting a huge range of different kinds of websites that you're getting these things from. The spam is very obvious, very easy for an algorithm to catch, right? So again, you know, same as before, last resort on the disavow. But if you are, you know, confident in your disavow skills and you're just going in there and getting the porn stuff, then like Chris said, the only thing that you might be eliminating there is the off chance that some of this does add good crawlability over to your site, which sometimes
I'd leave it.
just keeping. Yeah. You know, but your brain has to be able to handle that. You can't, you know, some of y'all I know can't go to sleep at night thinking that your cement shop has, you know, whatever porn attached to it. But
Just think about it like this. Once someone starts spamming you with porn links, you're part of the cool kids club now. You
yeah,
got a little dirt, you got a little dirt on your shoulder. You know, you're not this squeaky clean little nerd anymore playing around on the internet. You're playing the game where people are trying to take you down, and got some cool, you know, you look a little cooler.
you're
So
taking
yeah,
food off people's plates at this point in time. They're trying to take it back. King of the Hill has started for you. Enjoy it.
yeah. But yeah, it's natural. Everyone gets spam all the time. And most of the time it doesn't work at all. Like the extreme large majority of the times that I see.
And remember,
Uh,
when somebody did that, typically they're using money or time, you know, or well, they are using money or time to try and get at you. It's even funnier when you get confident in the fact that it's not going to do shit to you, and if anything, like they're probably kind of helping your SEO here and there. So
and
you know, you're just
you know they're agitated. They're agitated. They don't know what else to do. They can't beat you, so they're trying to use these like dirty tactics, but the tactics they're using are not sophisticated at all. And yeah, you can just imagine your competitor sitting in a dark room, brooding about you, with your looking at your picture on his screen, just wishing he was as successful as you.
so good, getting them so good.
All right. I'm gonna. Whoops. Let's see what we got here.
We got to end it here pretty soon, or at least I got to jump off.
Okay.
Good
You
game.
got time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay, this will be the last one, guys. Can new affiliate product review site rank on Google? So I wanted to answer this one just because, yeah, you know, it's a good question to ask at this point in time. The cool news is that we are finally, after 2 weeks of the August 2024 core update, we are seeing site recoveries, and they're recoveries that I would actually call significant. You know, I've seen sites recovering, 30%, 40% of their traffic. We had someone in our group recover over 100% of their traffic. So it's actually stronger now than it was before the core update. The thing is that if you are doing an affiliate product review website, you are entering into pretty much the sketchiest sector of SEO right now, as far as people are still figuring out how to build these websites safely and to not lose your traffic and to get penalized by an algorithm at a later point in time. If you are starting a product review website, my real advice would be to have experience with it and to actually have like firsthand experience and be doing real reviews, because SEOs, I don't think we've figured out how to do this in a in a lower energy way that doesn't get like slapped at this point in time. You know, people are starting these sites and they lose their traffic after 6 months to a year because Google catches on and they deem your site as not having helpful content. If you don't know what helpful content is, I would go over and check out. You could just Google helpful content guidelines, read into that. But essentially what it comes down to is having actual experience, demonstrating what they call EAT, EEAT, expertise, authority, all that stuff. Demonstrating that you are adding something new to the conversation and not just rehashing what every other article has on the topic, you know, and trying to do things in a more like legitimate way versus what SEO was a year ago and all the time before that, which was people essentially not knowing anything about the topics, rehashing articles, getting humans or AI to essentially spin content and put on their website. It was the easy days of ranking and making affiliate cash, right? So if you want to do that, I would not be very excited about starting a new website. But if you are doing things the quote correct way, then it's still possible for sure. Would I want to do that? Not right now. I wouldn't. I would I would still, I would say give it another. I would want another like 6 months to a year, and to let people that are a lot smarter than me and spend a lot more time analyzing stuff to figure it out for me. And then I can go in after that. But I wouldn't want to be a pioneer on this turf right now, because essentially SEOs didn't figure it out for over a year. Sites have just started recovering. I've never seen anything like this in SEO, where such a large portion of sites were hit and no one knew what to do and no one could recover for over a year. So anyway, sketchy grounds, still possible. Would I want to do it? Probably not. But I would start like considering it a little bit more for sure. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, agreed. Especially if this is going to be the only asset you're working on, probably, and you're asking this question, probably not the best place to start. But don't let that, shove you out. You can get started and start prodding. I just wouldn't make it my main focus if that's what you're looking for right now, which it kind of sounds like you are. Probably easier ways to make a buck in SEO right now. But, it doesn't hurt. Time in the SERPs always helps. So sometimes getting a site started and starting to prod isn't a bad idea. Just, don't focus on it completely, I would say. Go slowly.
All right, this is the last question for real, and then we got to get out of here, guys. Chris says, if you were to contrast the time and effort to get expired domains set up for link building versus using a service, do you believe the service offers a substantial value? Yes. I'm assuming you're talking about building a PBN. Building a PBN is one of the hardest things to know how to do in SEO. You have to learn how to buy good expired domains. You have to learn how to avoid footprints. You have to learn how to link properly as part of a, use PBNs as part of a well-balanced link building campaign, link diversity, anchor text diversity, yada, yada, yada. It's a lot of work. You got to pay for all the websites. You got to get the websites up and running. Some of them are not going to work. You have to put content on the websites. You have to maintain them. You have to pay all the fees associated with keeping these websites live, hosting, blah, 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 all this stuff. It's a lot of work. However, if you have the budget to do it, a private PBN can be a very powerful tool. But I feel like most people, they probably underestimate what the budget is for a private PBN. And for most cases, it would just make more sense to maybe buy a few PBN links from a provider and focus most of your effort on non-PBN links. But if you could also talk about using expired domains. If you're going to do a 301 redirect or build on top of the expired domain, I feel like these are a lot different than using them as a PBN, because you're not going to do a ton of them. You just probably build on one expired domain, maybe 301 redirect one more, and doing that can be extremely valuable. Maybe the biggest shortcut in SEO that there is building on top of aged or expired domains or 301 redirecting an aged or expired domain. Yeah, what else you got on that, Nick?
Specifically if we're talking PBN, I think something that's worth, kind of talking about is the fact that all these links, the reason that at Sir Links a Lot, we sell all these different kinds of links is they're all different tools. They all operate different ways. And although they're backlinks, they're not all created equal. So even if you're, building out 100+ sites to use as your PBN, the reason our PBN on Sir Links a Lot is very dynamic is because you still want to diversify how you're getting those backlinks to your money site. So they're not all homepage contextual blog posts on rebuilt expired domains or something like that, right? Like you have to diversify what you're doing, which is why even if somebody's got a high quality PBN that they built themselves, they're probably still coming to us or somebody else for niche edits, guest posts, and other kinds of links, right? You can't just build one type of link anymore and expect it to work, at least not long term. And when
especially
you do
PBN.
when you do that, especially with a PBN, what's going to happen is if you're not diversifying, you're going to get popped at some point in time, because there will be a footprint that shows itself, especially if you're not insulating that PBN or the entire network, and money side included, with what are natural links, right? Because you're blending things in there. My preference is gray hat, right? Where you're blending in some more natural stuff with, the less natural stuff, but in there you create insulation. So I think there's always going to be use for providers. I mean, even us, when we're building out assets, like, we're using our own links, but if I find good links elsewhere, or somebody's got, like, some stuff that I don't mind grabbing, I'm going to grab it, if it's not a part of our network. So yeah, there's always going to be use. But I think, if you're the type of person that wants to learn how to build a PBN, and go down that rabbit hole, it's not a bad venture. However, ROI on a PBN is very hard to it's very hard to qualify exactly how much return on your investment you're getting out of the PBN, because a lot of times, if you're using it on one site, then it's going to be hard to justify that. But then as you start using it on like 3, 4, 5 of your own sites, you have to worry about that being a footprint, etc. And then, how much ranking are you getting out of, the PBN that costs monthly fees for upkeep? Then they break, they go down, things like that. But yeah, there's constant, upkeep that requires, money to get your PBN going. Personally, if I had to, and that's where I got my start, was PBNs. But if I had to start over, I would say, stay away from PBNs, go outsource that to somebody else and focus somewhere else. But, I can't say that I didn't learn a lot there. So
Yeah.
there's some value there. But
the game was a little bit different back then too.
Don't even bother building a PBN. Just keep the service providers. That's my honest opinion. And I'm not saying that just to get people buying links. It's just wholeheartedly how I feel. Like, you imagine the amount of work you've got to put into building a PBN, and then all you get out of it essentially is just a couple of links, maybe to the same asset from any particular PBN. And then you're just sitting there going, well, how long before I get my money? That's not the way SEO works. We talk about it all the time. You have to be building on the campaign repeatedly. So no matter what, even if you're just building a PBN, you've got to keep building the PBN, keep diversifying how you're using the PBN, etc. In my opinion, you're better off just going with the service provider.
For sure. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and call it there. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully the audio and everything is good, because we're set up on this new thing, StreamYard or whatever. But yeah, it seems like it worked out pretty good. I like this new setup. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, it's good.
Seems good.
Seems really easy.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. One more thing before we go. Like we had mentioned before, we got press releases on sale for 10% off this month with code PRESS10 on the bottom left corner of your screen. Go to sirlinksalot.co to get 10% off press releases. It's for 3 more days. So yeah, it's only a few days left. My favorite type of foundational backlink, 50 to 200 indexed backlinks from news websites. They are do follow. That's how press releases work. They're all like that. They're not something like a guest post or a link insertion, but the great foundational backlinks, super natural, can get you ranked, especially if you're in low competition stuff. You might not really need much more than that. And yeah, just a great way to add some diversity, a little more foundational building, and something to impress clients with if they don't know how easy it is for you to get a press release, which is to just go over to sirlinksalot.co, enter in a couple things, and push the buy button. Beep boop. All right, guys, we will see you next time. And yeah, adios.